Hi everyone, you're welcome back to another amazing tutorial. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the easiest way to cut and sew your buba. It is very simple, detailed and beginner friendly. You can do this in less than 10 minutes and you are good to go. So if this looks like what you're really interested in, please watch this video till the end. And if this is your first time on this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also don't forget to like, share and drop a comment. So this is the Ankara fabric I'm going to be using for today's tutorial. The first thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to start cutting the blouse, and when cutting you'll be cutting on fold. So when cutting, I'll not be using this part of my Ankara because this part is by 45 inch, and when I fold it into two, I ended up with was 22 inch, and the blouse length I'm working with is 27 inch. So this part is not going to give me the blouse length I need. So I'll go ahead to open up my Ankara fabric again, as you can see, and I'll be cutting along this yardage area because this part will give me the blouse length. So if you're familiar with a buba top, you notice that a buba does not have any joining on the shoulder. That is why you need to cut both the front and the back together on fold. So I'll go ahead to mark the length of the blouse I want to make. So my blouse length is 27 inch. I'm going to be adding 2 inch extra for the hemming allowance. After taking the measurement, I'm going to go ahead to mark it, then I'll fold it over into two, as you can see me doing in the video. After folding it over, I'll go ahead to arrange my fabric to make sure that all parts aligns properly. So after arranging it, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to confirm my blouse length again before I go on with the tutorial. So here I have my blouse length plus the 2 inch for hemming the blouse. After doing that, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to fold it over again like this. So when folding it over this time around, the measurement you're going to be using is your hip measurement divided by 4 plus your ease and sewing allowance. So in my case, the hip measurement I'm working with is 40 divided by 4 is 10 inch. I'm going to be adding 2 inch for ease and 1 inch for the sewing allowance. So the amount of ease you'll be adding depends on how free you want the buba blouse to be. So for me, I don't want it to be too big. That is why I'm using 2 inch. You can go ahead to use 3, 4 or 5 inch depending on how free you want your buba blouse to be. So after folding it over again, the next I'm going to go ahead to do is to confirm my measurement. Then I'll go ahead to cut off the excess fabric for clarity. So after cutting it out, this is what you're going to be having. So I'll just go ahead to explain how to fold your fabric again. So first you're going to go ahead to fold into two using your blouse length plus your hemming allowance. So whatever your blouse length is, you go ahead to add 2 inch extra for the hemming allowance. After folding into two like this, the next you're going to go ahead to do is to fold it into two again, and you end up with something like this. So after folding, this is what you're going to be having. This part is on fold while this part is on fold and this part is open. So we're going to be cutting both the front and the back at the same time. The next you're going to go ahead to do now is to insert your hip measurement divided by 4 plus your ease and your sewing allowance. So whatever you get, you're going to go ahead to mark it all the way down and connect the points together like you see me doing in the video. So after connecting the point together, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to draw the neckline. The neckline for a buba is always the same for both the front and the back. So I'll go ahead to mark a neck width of 4 inch and a neck depth of 4 inch. This is a standard measurement and it works for almost everybody except for a bigger size. You can go ahead to mark 5 inch by 5 inch. So this is what the neckline is going to look like. There's no need for shoulder slope because the shoulder part is on fold. Next, I'm going to go ahead to mark the sleeve opening, and for that I'll mark my armhole measurement divided by 2 plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance. So this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to be attaching the sleeve and I'm going to be stitching the sleeve to this armhole area. Then I'll stitch from the sleeve all the way down to the hem of the blouse. Next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is cut out the neckline and the excess I have on the side. So after cutting, this is what it's going to look like. When you open it up, you're going to be having something like this. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is cut out the sleeve for the buba we are making. And to do that, I'll be using this remaining fabric I have on this side. So here I have the fabric I'll be using for the sleeve cutting. And I'm going to be cutting both sleeves at the same time. So the first thing you're going to go ahead to do is to measure what you have on your boba blouse. You're going to go ahead to take the measurement from the shoulder to the point you just marked. That is the exact thing you're going to be using to cut out the sleeve. So what I have here is 10 inch. I'm going to go ahead to fold my fabric. Here I have the first fold already. I'll go ahead to fold it over again. When you measure what you have here, it should align with what you have on the boba dress. So this is me trying to make it equal. Then I'll go ahead to fold it over again, after which I'll cut off the excess I have. So after cutting, this is what you're going to be having. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to draw a straight line at this point. Then I'll go ahead to trim it off so that I'll have equal parts on all sides of the sleeve. So next you're going to go ahead to determine how long you want the sleeve to be. And to do that, you're going to take your measurement from the center back of your neckline to the point where you want the sleeve to be. So I'm just going to go ahead to place my sleeve on the boba like this. Then I'll take the sleeve length I want. So I'll just go ahead to place my tape rule starting from the center back. So my neck width is 4 inch. I'll place the tape rule at 4 inch. Then I'll go ahead to mark where the sleeve is going to be stopping. After marking the sleeve length, I also go ahead to mark a hemming allowance of 1.5 inch. Then I'll go ahead to draw a straight line, after which I'll cut off the excess as you can see me doing in the video. So this is how the sleeve is going to fit on the dress. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to notch the shoulder area of the buba, and I also go ahead to do the same thing on the folded part of the sleeve like this. So next I'm going to go ahead to cut out the facing for the buba we are making. So for the facing, what you need is a fabric on fold like this. So you get a straight fabric and fold it into two like this. So make sure that the fabric is wide enough to accommodate the neckline you have on your buba. Then you go ahead to place your buba dress on it, pin it down, then you cut out the neckline of your buba on the facing as you can see me doing in the video. After trimming the neckline, this is what the facing is going to look like. So next I'm just going to go ahead to trim the facing as you can see me doing in the video. You can decide to fix it like this, and you can decide to trim it to have this round effect on the facing. So I'm going to be folding the edge of the facing before attaching it to the dress. So this is what the facing is going to look like after you're done cutting your facing. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to start stitching all the pieces together. So first of all, I'm going to be starting with the facing of the buba. And to attach your facing to the buba, you're going to go ahead to open up your buba like this, making sure the good face is facing you. Then you place the good face of your facing on the good face of your buba. After which you're going to go over to your sewing machine to stitch the facing on the buba all the way around. Then you go ahead to top stitch it and give it a good press. So once I'm done fixing the facing to the buba, I also go ahead to fix the sleeve. First of all, you're going to go ahead to hem the edge of the sleeve. Then you place it on your fabric like this, making sure the notched part on the shoulder and the notched part on the sleeve are aligning. After doing that, you're going to go ahead to stitch the sleeve to the buba. So once you're done stitching the sleeve to the buba like this, the next thing you're going to go ahead to do is to join the front and the back together. So you're going to go ahead to open it up and join the front and the back like this. So you're going to go ahead to stitch from the sleeve down to the hem of the buba. So you can decide to stitch it all the way down completely, and you can decide to leave a small opening on the edge of the buba. Once you're done with all this, you're going to go ahead to hem the edge of the buba. So I'll go over to my sewing machine to quickly do all this, then I'll come back to show you the final look. So once I was done finishing the neckline and fixing the sleeve, this is what the buba looks like. As you can see, this method is so simple and very easy. So here I have the wrapper that will be tied with the buba. What I have here is almost 2.5 yards. And after cutting it, I went ahead to hem the edges of the wrapper. So if you're a plus size, you can go ahead cut out 3 yards for your wrapper so that the wrapper ties properly. So guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my other tutorials.